person, but to get some leads is not going to be a problem. Okay. The number of leads you have, there's a conversion model that's going to say, if you have this many leads, I should make this much money. I think the number right now in your database is like 120. If you have 120 people and you connect with them, you should be able to make $100,000 a year. And most of us have at least 120 people in our phone. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Patrice, for reading that. So we want to dispel some limiting beliefs. There are some agents that says, if I don't have listings, I don't have anything to hold open. Is there a way, and anybody can scream it out, if you don't have listings yet, can you hold open houses? And if so, how?
Yes.
Other agents in your brokerage.
Your agents.
Yes, and experienced agents that don't have a team, guess what? They don't want to host open houses unless it's in the area that they're like farming, right? So how can you do that? How can you, it's simple, guys. Go and speak to an experienced agent. Ask them to maybe, hey, can I train with you a little bit? Can I host an open house with you to learn how you do it? And then ensure to them that if you don't have signs, do you have signs that I can use from you? I will return them all. Make sure you show up on time, all of those things. But it's about building a relationship with an experienced agent that has listings in your office. I have about 4 agents that anytime I have listing, they host my open houses. They get the first text every time because they do exactly that. And they show up 30 minutes before the open house. I don't have to worry about them showing up late to it because it will be a reflection on me. Another myth is I may not know the answers to questions visitors have. You don't have to have all the answers. You just say, hey, that's a great question. I don't have the answer right now. Not a problem. Let me get your contact information. I will find that out from the listing agent and I will call you back. Now you just got their contact, right? Open houses don't really work because most people look online. That's also a total limiting belief. People look online, but there's multiple ways you get people through the door in an open house. Signage outside, the more signage you have. And yes, sometimes they're what we call looky-loos, right? They're not interested in buying right now. But most buyers will start with open houses or looking online before even deciding to buy a property or sell their property, right? So the more signs you have, the more you promote it on your social media. Then on top of them looking online, yes, with companies like Zillow, etc., Realtor.com, you just want to make sure that if it's not your listing, that the agent goes in there and puts the open houses online so that you also get those people that come in. And most agents will do that because they need as much traffic to come through to find a potential buyer. Now, this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is not just for women. This is for men as well. There are a lot of crazies out there. And real estate is the weirdest job. We basically are telling people where to come and abduct us or rob us because we're promoting it everywhere and say, I will be at this address between this time. So a lot of agents might feel like I won't feel safe if you do that. And we'll talk a little bit about today how you can make yourself feel safer. And there's a lot of little checks and balances you can do to ensure. And honestly, sometimes go ahead and bring a second person. Right. And sometimes I have new agents that if I host open house, they come with me. So just so we have 2 people if it's a big house and we feel much more safe that way. And they have an opportunity to learn some scripts or, just be able to do some videos. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go about it. So all of this is total limiting beliefs. Now, if you don't want to do open houses, you want to do another way of lead gen, that is A-okay. It is your business. But open house is a great way if you don't have a database to start getting more business, okay? All right. Where's my, when we're doing open houses, we want to make sure we're capturing the leads on open houses. So when you do an open house, who benefits from the open house? First of all, it's always going to be the seller because there's more exposure for their property and there are potential buyers that walk through the door. So if you have potential listings coming up, I highly recommend you host an open house. I can't tell you the amount of houses that I sold from my open houses because agents sometimes will send their clients to the open house and then you get a call from the agent that says, hey, my client saw the house because I can sell the property as a listing agent better than and buyer's agent because I know the listing, right? It's my listing. And that's why if you're going to host another agent's open house, you want to make sure that you ask them about the house. What makes it special? What is it? Learn about the neighborhood so that you're the one that can sell the house for the actual listing agent and the seller. Plus, it makes you really look competent when you understand what that inventory looks like around there and what's so special about the house. It will benefit buyers because they have an opportunity to come in and out of looking at houses. COVID's a little bit different. We didn't have a lot of open houses. It's good for neighbors because neighbors, they're looking loose. They want to come and check out the house. And if they've seen some renovations in there, they want to compare their house to the house that's going to be sold because they might be thinking about selling the house one day, right? Or if that house sells for a lot more than they thought their house was worth, and of course they walked in the house and said, my house is much better than this one because everybody's house is the best one in the block, right? And so that's going to actually help neighbors and help the values of the properties normally go up because now they know kind of what they should tell the agent that, hey, I should be pricing it around that. Also, the agent, it does also benefit you because not only does it help the listing agent that's doing it for getting a sale, it is a great opportunity for you to pick up what we call unrepresented buyers. Unrepresented buyers is a buyer that has not signed a buyer brokerage agreement with an agent. Now, I don't know what state you're in or what country you're in. The laws are different in most countries. In Georgia, we basically say you don't cross the line, right? The sign. You don't cross the sign. And if somebody has a buyer brokerage agreement or a listing agreement, we cannot try to get that business. And I'm sure it's the same everywhere now, especially after the commission class action lawsuit, right? Now we have to have everything in writing. So it is important when you do your open houses that you do understand and know that because you want to make sure that you're not poaching potential clients from other agents. That's just not ethical, okay? All right. So benefits of open houses, we talked about who benefits from that. Here are some of the things that truly are the reason why a lot of new agents will host open houses or agents that, and I don't say new, agents that really want to re-engage in their business to get more business, do open houses. Open houses are actually inexpensive. Like, what do we really need to do an open house, guys? Does anybody know?
We need time. We
You need
to
time.
make,
Signage and
You need
signage.
we
what?
need the
Signage?
signage.
What else? Throw it out. Do you
Um,
need a full spread of food?
No.
Nope.
Oh,
Snack,
really?
water.
As a matter of fact, water normally, sparkling water, cold water, in the summers, that's about it. And the reason I say you don't need food anymore, after COVID, it changed. Before COVID, everybody always had cookies and everything else. Now people are funny about trying to eat other people's food. And honestly, I don't do it because I don't want to get sued. So if I serve them something, they get sick, I don't want them to come after me, even if I buy it from the store. But it's super inexpensive. All you need is time. That's it. You need a pen and you need a piece of paper for people to sign in, or if you have an iPad, you could use the app, right? It is a great prospecting tool. It allows you to have conversations with people that you don't know, new people that you meet. And you can also invite people from your sphere of influence, to invite them to come in and check in on the house. If you know somebody's been talking about wanting to buy in one neighborhood and you're hosting an open house over there, invite them to come and see the open house, even if they have not yet gotten pre-approved. There's a high return on investment. I tend to always tell my clients and agents that I mentor, if you're hosting an open house, set a goal. Set a goal. You can't control how many people walk through the door, but you can set a goal of how many people you want to try to connect with or at least convert. My rule on open houses have always been for myself is if I have an open house, regardless of how many people come in, I want to convert one buyer and have a potential one listing lead from one neighbor. That's always been my goal. On average, I've always hit that. Now, I always hear agents say, oh, I host an open house, and sometimes they give me a fake phone number. Okay, that's obviously somebody you don't want to work with. If they don't want to give you give you their real number, odds are they don't really want to work with you anyway. That's okay. You want to find that person that you connect with that they want to chat with you, that's who you spend your time in when you're actually speaking to people in an open house. And then you actually will get some qualified leads. If you ask the right questions and the right conversations in the open house, you will uncover a lot. I will give you a couple of scripts that I have used in open houses that I know has been a money maker for me. And this is normally how I'm able to convert one buyer per open house I host. Now I get more people that, you know, I can kind of get in my database or whatever, but I'm not big on follow-up. That's one of my downfalls when I was in real estate full time. I kind of went, hey, let me see who's ready to go now. And then I forgot about everybody else. Now, if you're serious about your business, don't do that. You put them in your database, you make sure you nurture them so that one might end up turning into 4 or 5. Because if you have 15 people come through and in the next 6 months, maybe 4 or 5 of them want to buy and you stay in contact with them, you might actually a lot more conversions than just my one that I was always looking for. A qualified lead could be somebody that actually already has a pre-approval and they really haven't hired an agent yet. They're just kind of looking around, but they went to their bank and got a pre-approval. So that is I am ready to go. I am a qualified lead. You know, I just sold my house. I'm renting right now and my lease is up in a couple of months. You get a lot of those kind of buyers coming through open houses. That's why open houses have always been such a great, great opportunity for people. Okay. Now, I went through a little bit, and one of the things we want to make sure that we do is do a few ahas. Now, a lot of what we covered, you probably already know, but just somebody give me 1 or 2 good ahas of the information that was just covered.
Hey, Natalie, before we proceed with the ahas, there's a couple of questions
Perfect,
from
excellent.
Christopher and Maria Young. What about
Christopher,
hosting
go ahead and
prize
jump.
draws?
I'm sorry, say it again.
From Christopher, what about pre-packed food?
You can. And this is your thing. It's your open house. Do whatever you want to do. I just noticed that every time I had those kind of things, I ended up having to bring it back home. And after my kids moved out, who's going to eat all that stuff? So it wasn't me. So you can go ahead and do whatever. And every market is different. I just noticed that in Atlanta, people don't really want to. Now, some agents like to put cookies in the oven. If you do that and it's not your house, make sure the seller is okay with that. And the reason they like to do cookies in the oven, it smells great, right? And it makes people feel good. But yeah, I mean, if you were to serve something, my advice definitely would be pre-packaged things. But honestly, I just haven't seen, is it worth it at all, right? If you're in a neighborhood that has a lot of kids, things like that, always might be good to have some kind of little snacks or something for the kids and prepackaged meal, things like that. Just keep in mind that if you're hosting for another agent and you have some kind of food and things, make sure it's not sticky, because if they start opening that and making a mess in the house, that's a bad reflection on you, especially if it's not your listing. Awesome. Chris, did I answer your question?
How about hosting prize draws?
Yes. So having little, and I assume that we're talking about if people sign up, you know, you raffling something off. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I love it when there are other agents in the area that's hosting an open house as well, especially if they're in my same office. We might say, hey, we'll create a flyer that if you go to these three houses, you're entered into a raffle. And now all of us are only putting up $25 each, or let's say $30 each, and we have a $100 raffle that we're now raffling off between all of us, our 3 people that are coming through the open house. So you can do something yourself. You can also ask a lender to give you a gift card for it, and then raffle it off. If you're doing something like that, I highly recommend, which is our second session, is go ahead and raffle it off on your social media. Like, hey, I'm hosting an open house. I got a few people. And then you don't have to say the person's name, full name. Be like, oh, I'm raffling off $100 and so, you know, won it. Next time, make sure you come to my open house, because I always raffle something off. So you can actually turn that into a touch on social media as well if you are doing that. But yeah, definitely if that's something that you're interested in doing, this is a great way to get people's contact, because they need to give you the real contact for you to be able to get in touch with them if they actually won, right? So that's a good way to figure it out. Were the only 2 questions, Roma?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, since we did the questions, we're gonna go. Thank you, Roma. Anytime we get to AHAs, definitely jump in because we're moving into a new topic, so to speak. All right. So here's some best practices for open houses, okay? You want to set some goals. You heard me say, hey, anytime I host an open house, I try to make sure that I convert one buyer and one listing or seller, right, on each open house. So you have different ways that you can definitely set some goals on open houses. The reason goals are good is you're kind of having your eye on a prize. And you're being much more purposeful when you're setting some goals versus I'm going to put out a couple of signs. I'm just going to show up. For example, if you're putting up signs, you want to make sure that the signs are set up. And like some big subdivisions might have multiple entrances. Understand and know. So go on the maps and like pull it out and see where are the roads and which roads do we need to drop the signs at, right? So that you can make sure that most people see it and they can get to the place. So you want to be very purposeful when you set your goals and not just entrepreneurial. And entrepreneurial is the things that come easy, right? If you like to talk to people, you kind of get on social media, people show up, you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to wing it. No, that's not going to be the way to build a business. So let's make sure we're purposeful. So you're going to pick the house, right? I want you to think about your market numbers. If you're an agent that, let's say, your sphere of influence is first-time home buyers, you might want to diversify your potential database, your sphere of influence, and go after houses that are not first-time home buyer homes. Okay, so maybe they're 800,000, depending on where you live, because our average price point here in Atlanta is about 425, 450. So if I have an agent that has a new agent that has a lot of sphere of influence, that's first-time home buyers 400, I might tell them to try to find agents that have homes that are around 800 or 900. Also understand your market. So if you know right now 800, 900 in certain areas selling really fast, or $1 million is, trying to find listings that sell pretty fast, because that just means they have more buyers, right? So it's easier to kind of convert that. When you pick a house, my advice is go ahead and contact an agent a week before. If you see that an agent says, hey, we have a new listing that's coming up, that's a great time to say, hey, when you actually launch a listing, can I host an open house? You didn't hear it from me, but here's a secret. Don't host open houses that are ugly unless you're wanting to work with investors, okay? So my advice is try to find open houses that really look good. Maybe they're staged. They're in an area that's very attractive, because you can have an open house and have no people come and show up if it's in an area that's not attractive and there's a ton of inventory. So really try to make sure you pick the correct house when you're actually hosting an open house for another agent. If it's your listing, that's the listing you got. Your job is to sell it. So yes, host it, okay? Prepare and practice. You want to make sure that you have some scripts and you're prepared on having conversations with people that are walking in. And I'm going to give you a couple of scripts. And just so you know, this is recorded so that we're going to have it, and that your market center is going to have a link for this. So if you want to go back and listen and write down the scripts, feel free to do that. One of the scripts that I love to use when buyers or potential sellers walk into my open house is I always welcome them first. I introduce myself. If it's my listing, I'm transparent. I say, my name is Natalie. I'm the listing agent on this house. I'm super excited that you're here. Let me tell you a little bit about the home. And then I give them a quick blah, blah, blah about the home. And if there's a brochure, I give them to that. I also always have an open house, like what they thought about the home, in a little clipboard. That's one of the things that we always do on my team, that I think is great, because as they're walking around, they have a clipboard, and on there they have their name and phone number, etc. And we get some feedback about the house, because I want to make sure I understand what is the buyer thinking about the house on my listings, right? So once they do that, while they're kind of putting their information up on top, I always ask them, how long have you been looking? Or I start off by saying, are you a potential buyer or neighbor, a potential buyer or a neighbor or an agent? And so I find out they're an agent. I'm like, oh, great, excellent. Hey, let me know if you have any questions, kind of walk around. And then I give them the spiel still. And now I'm very kind and to that agent as well. And then I normally ask the agent, do you have a potential buyer for this house? Because they could be previewing it. And if they say, I do, well, let me tell you a little bit about what makes this house unique versus the house down the street. Because my job is to sell it to the agent sells it to their buyer. Okay. Now, if they say that they're a potential buyer, my next sentence is always going to be, oh my gosh, how exciting. How long have you been looking? And then I pause. I hear sometimes, oh, we've been kind of looking for a couple of years. Oh, a couple of years. Oh, wow. Why are you not pulling the trigger? Because now I just want to have a conversation. Now, I don't ask right away, are you working with an agent or do you have a buyer brokerage agreement with an agent? I'm just striking up a conversation. If they say, well, you know, we started and then we stopped, the market was kind of crazy, whatever they say, oh, okay, great. Okay, did you get pre-approved already? I always ask that. If they say they got pre-approved, then I follow up with, okay, great. Hopefully you have a reputable lender. You know, who's the lender, right? And I say, hey, I have some great lenders out there. They're not all the same. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't ask you. Did you already sign a buyer brokerage agreement with a real estate agent? I don't ask them, are you working with an agent? I ask them, did you sign a buyer brokerage agreement with an agent? And this is why. Everybody knows a real estate agent. Many real estate agents don't do a buyer brokerage agreement. If they don't sign a buyer brokerage agreement, technically they are not represented. They are fair game. If they say, yeah, I signed one already, awesome, excellent. Do you mind writing your agent's information on here on the form, just in case you like the house and she wants to put an offer in? I want to make sure that we know that you saw it, because we don't accept offers from what we call blind offers. That buyer has to see the house. And since she's not here, I know that you've seen it. And then I let him go because they have a buyer brokerage agreement. I can't try to convert them. If they don't have a buyer brokerage agreement with them, I go, okay, well, you are working with a great reputable lender. When did you get your pre-approval? And I just try to add value. And I say, okay, great, awesome. Well, did you know in this area, we actually have a buy down program because interest rates are a little bit higher. I have a lender that can do. I just want to show them that I know so much about the whole industry, etc. And if they say things like, I have not been able to find anything, and I really don't work with an agent, which I get a lot, because I just go to open houses, and then if I find something, I'll just tell the agent there. I normally explain to them, you know, a lot of real estate is sold off market, and what that means is it doesn't even make it to the market. You really want to work and pair up with a good agent that can go out here and look for listings. Like I told my whole office that I have this listing coming up a month before we even launched. And a couple of agents in my office showed this prior to me even launching it. So it's really important if you're really serious about buying a house to really committing to an experienced agent that can find your properties before they hit the market. And I'm going to tell you, that is probably the biggest and the script that I have used to be able to convert people to wanting to work with me, because they don't realize that that's their way. That's one of the main things about real estate agents. It's not the stuff that's online about the houses that already hit the market. It's the stuff that they don't see, right? So here's a couple of scripts that I've used that I wanted to share with you, all right? Roma, do we have any questions at all? Perfect. You want to pick the time that you want to host an open house. Now, open houses traditionally is when? Anybody? What day do we normally have them?
Sunday afternoons.
Saturday.
You know why Sunday afternoons became the day that we have open houses? Because I've been trying to figure this out for years. Right? Like, is that just the only time that potential buyers are going to be out in their car is Sunday afternoons? So you don't have to host an open house on a Sunday. I do open houses when I have a new listing every weekend. The first weekend we launched a listing, we host an open house Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 4, both days. We do it because if there's bad weather one day, I don't know about your state or your city or country, but in Georgia, they think that they're going to melt if it rains. I don't know. I don't understand why. So if it rains on a Saturday, nobody comes out. If it's sunny on a Sunday, everybody comes out, or vice versa. So we do it on Saturday and Sunday. Plus, if we put open house signs out, it says Saturday and Sunday on us, we put them out one time, we pick them up another time, and we have now 2 extra days or like for the signs to be out, because you always want to drop them the day before, right? So pick the time, pick the daytime. You want to do a nighttime, you know, it just depends on the market that you're in. If you're living in an area that has a ton of activity towards the afternoon and evening, it's close to a park, 1 to 2 might not work. I mean, 1 to 4 might not work. Maybe 3 to 6 is a better time to do it. Like, because that's where everybody's coming out from the soccer game, right? So figure out what time would work for you. Do you want to also do maybe a wine and cheese open house, right? And sometimes on some of the luxury listings, you see that as well. It's all up to you, but you have to pick the house, pick the time and the day. But here's the trick, guys. When you decide to pick the time and the day, you have to consider, do you have open house signs for it? Okay. So when I made an investment on open house signs, I'm so glad I thought about it. I have one basic open house sign, and then I have writers with different times and days on it. Because the open house signs cost a certain amount, but the writer is only like $4. So I have writers that say Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 4. I have writers that say Sunday, 1 to 4, Saturday, 1 to 4. So if we now have already hosted a Saturday, Sunday open house, or we know it's a big hot, like Saturday is going to be a wash because there's football or something, and we want to do a longer Sunday open house, we have the signs for it. So I still have one open house signs, but I put the writers on top, which makes the sign bigger. So it was an investment I did, and I am so glad I did. And a lot of the newer agents in my office have started doing the same. And I'm telling you, it's a moneymaker because the sign is bigger, and now you have control over when you want to host the open house. If another agent is already hosting one on Sunday on a house you really want to host, ask the agent, can I do it on Saturday? I have signs for Saturday. So that gives you a good opportunity to snag some extra open houses as well. Prepare stats. You need to know your market. If you're going to host an open house, and it's not your listing, or if it's your listing, you probably know the stats because you did this CMA, you talked to the seller about the stats. But if it's not your listings, you need to make sure you have and understand, prepare some stats. Here are some stats that you might want to consider preparing. Feel free to write them down. Average days on the market in that area, okay? Average price point. Pull the inventory in that subdivision, see how many actives are currently there. Know what other houses are on the market. So if you're hosting an open house, for example, that doesn't have a basement, that you know around the corner there's a house that does have a basement, and they're like, oh, I love the house, but it doesn't have a basement. Like, hey, did you know that there's actually a house in this neighborhood that has a basement? And if they're not working with an agent, you can set up a potential showing for them for that one. And then understand and know what everything is priced. Why is it priced that much? Because sometimes buyers will come in, or even potential sellers that live in the neighborhood come in like, I don't understand why this house is priced at $700. The one down the street is priced at $850. Well, if you pulled up and know the market and you pull the stats and the inventory on it, you might realize the reason it's $850 is the fact that it's overpriced and it's been on the market 325 days, right? Or you realize it's $825 because the square footage is incorrect in FMLS. And when you talk to the agent, it's much bigger. Or that one has a basement and this one doesn't. That one is updated kitchen and this one doesn't. So you can actually talk to them about why there's a difference on pricing, because that makes you look very knowledgeable, experienced, and people want to work with somebody that knows their stuff, period. Okay? Because remember, real estate is one of the biggest transactions people will actually do and buy. So they're going to want to work with somebody that actually knows their stuff. And here's my favorite slide. Be safe. So always use a buddy system. So if you're going to host an open house, there needs to be somebody that you have and that they know that you're there. What I always do is when I'm going into a house, I call whoever knows that I'm doing an open house and I go, hey, I'm walking into the house now. And the reason I do that is I don't want to be surprised. Somebody may have broken in there. There might be a squatter in the house. You just never know, especially if the house sits empty. So I call and I'm on the phone on speakerphone while I'm walking around a house and turning all the lights on. And then downstairs in the basement, if there's a back door, I do not unlock that back door. I leave that back door locked. Now, people that are walking around will unlock it to go out. That's fine. But I don't go back upstairs and I have the house not secured. Okay. When I know that the house is good, I then tell my friend, hey, I'm good. The house is good. I have an open house until this time. I will call you when I'm locking up. Okay. And then I put them on a speakerphone and I do that. Now there's some apps for safety for open houses. Feel free to look at them where you could push a button. It calls the police, all that stuff, and triggers, alarms. I don't know too many of them. Like I said, I'm not tech savvy, so I'll be using the old school buddy system. Always make sure you arrive early. Early is 30 minutes or more, right? If you live in a city like Atlanta that has a lot of traffic, LA, one of those places, you might want to get on that side of town an hour earlier, just to make sure that you don't get in a situation where there's a bad traffic or an accident, you can't get to that side of town. Shani, you have a hand up. Perfect. Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, so some years ago I was trying to get into real estate investment. And I was new to it, and they were talking to us about going to open houses and things of that nature, or going to see these houses. And I saw a video online, and it terrified me. And I wanted to know if anybody has experienced this, because it's kind of made me a little bit worried about the side of the business. But the house had booby traps, and I in my mind I know that is not like. I know that's not the norm, but
Well,
is that something that has been come up? Like, has anybody come across that?
Well, I will tell you this. We're not gonna go rabbit trail on this. Have I seen crazy stuff and walked into squatters? Absolutely. Like I've worked with investors where I had to bring a drill. There's no lockbox. I have to do a drill off the board to show a house. There's a lot of that type of stuff. I will say this. This is why I mentioned if you're doing an open house, you do it somewhere in an area that's safe, right? So, always being cautious. I said always have your head on a swivel. Do the things you can to be safe. But I mean, it's kind of like if you're going to get gas nowadays, it's a risk, right? So you have to just be smart. I would not host an open house in an area that's very sketchy or the house is really for investors, right? And I wouldn't, just because of the fact that they're normally in areas that are up and coming, that are going through, a lot of renovations. And I'm not looking to get those type of buyers anyway. I want to go into open houses that, remember I said, get the pretty homes if you can, or get the homes in an area that's really good. Because remember, you're trying to attract the type of buyer that you want to work with. And I would rather work with an $800,000 family than working with an investor that's got a $200,000, what we would call a trap house.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Thank
gonna
you.
okay. And the reason I can say that is my house I just renovated, I'm sitting in right now, was one of those. And there were squatters in here and I walked into them. I still bought the house and still renovated it fully. But, I wouldn't host an open house there. Okay. Always make sure that you arrive early and park on the street. Never ever park on the driveway or in the garage. And the reason for that is if something happens, you are to run out and get in your car and drive away. Your safety is more important than the safety of or the security of the house. And then you can make the call to get somebody to come in there. Check all the entrances and exits on entrance when you're getting in there and on the way out. This is when you call your buddy system again and say, I'm about to lock up. I want you to be on the phone with me. And they know the house that you're doing it at. And if something happens, they hear any kind of commotion, whatever, they call 911 right away. No questions asked. Make sure your cell phone is fully charged and on you at all times. Make sure your key to the house is on you at all times. Make sure your car key is on you at all times. So if that means you get a little small crossbody that you keep on, not the big purse, a little small crossbody or even a money belt that is under your shirt, you want to make sure that you never put those things away. Because if there is a situation and you just don't like it, you need to be able to leave the house right away. And then make sure all the lights are turned on. Make sure that when you're checking out, you're turning the lights off. The way I close a house is this way. I always go down to the basement first, make sure that's locked up. But before I do, I lock up everything on the main level. I go basement and then I go back to main level. I go back upstairs. I don't go upstairs before I know basement is secure. Because if somebody's upstairs, it's because somebody stayed there. But I normally watch who comes in and out. So when you consistently watching the door, and I don't leave the front door to the kitchen during my open houses. I don't go downstairs. I don't go upstairs. I stay in the main area all the time. So if somebody, Some agents like to walk around with potential buyers. I do not. My job is to be there to greet them and then watch them walk out. And so in my head, I have a constant count on it. Okay. Then make sure you check with local COVID guidelines. I know right now we don't have COVID, but also follow your market setting guidelines and checklists for open houses. Check with your market center. We actually have a phone. We have we call it the red folder. And if I call the office and it goes to one of those phone numbers, or the office picks up and I say, hey, I need the red folder, they know that I'm in a distressed situation. Okay, so you want to make sure that you talk to your office to find out what is the code word. And it's not just for open houses, when you're showing houses also, because if you're like, hey, let me call the office and see if they have that information, and you don't feel safe, that's what you do. So find out from your office what the code word is. Okay. Awesome. All right.
Questions?
Yep.
Okay, so Carrie asked, can you talk a little bit about on the open house signs?
Okay, Carrie, come on and tell me what you wanted to know. Are you asking for what information is to be there, or where to buy them?
No, asking about where to place them. I just get nervous, like even if it's I don't know. I just get nervous about where to place them, that like someone's gonna get upset that they're there. I had an experience in the past where a real, not my signs, but a friend's signs got taken because someone was not happy about it. So I get nervous about that. And then I also get nervous about leaving them up overnight for a similar reason. I just like, literally, I'm like, I put them out as, like an hour, maybe 30 minutes before the open house. And then I take them down like immediately after. I mean, I get so nervous about it.
Oh,
And I wanna-
every state and city and neighborhoods have different guidelines. So understand and know them. So if you're hosting an open house in an HOA, you want to ask, if it's your listing, you want to ask the HOA, are signs allowed, right? 1. 2, if it's not your listing, you want to ask the agent, can you check or send me the HOA's information, are signs allowed? So when I do listing agreement or listings and we're going to launch it, I always ask my admin to check with the seller to make sure that, hey, are we allowed to have have signs, right? That's 1. 2, check in. Like Douglas here in Atlanta has, I think it still does, and it was a 24-hour. You can't have it past like 24 hours prior to the date or time. And so when I did Saturday and Sunday, I couldn't put them out on Friday because that would have been more than 24 hours. So I had to always put them on Saturday. So you just have to do your homework to figure out what are the guidelines on it. And then you can't be scared of losing signs. I mean, the only thing that can happen is you're going to lose a little bit of money, but if you're not putting them out, you're losing an opportunity to get potential leads and getting people to the door. Because if you put them out an hour and a half before, it's just people that are driving home. People driving home from work that might be interested in coming and seeing it the night before, you'll have more traffic coming through the open house.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. What was the other question?
From Mario Young, how would one host a wine and cheese open house? I would assume you'd have to get a proper permit to serve alcohol at an event.
Yeah, so many times agents will do that for like agent caravans. Some agents will do that for open houses as well. Me personally, I don't, because I think it's liability. I'm one that, hey, I don't want you to sue me. You would check your local rules and regulations for that. Some states and cities are very strict on it, and some are not. From my experience, up north, not so much. Down south in the Bible Belt, very strict on that. So you would just have to check that and see how that would work. Obviously, if you were hosting wine and cheese in the evening in a neighborhood, you probably would have to look and make sure that they're actually of age. But, I don't want to bog down on that. It just depends on where you are, and you just need to take a look at that. You might want to check with your broker in charge, your BIC in your office first. They probably have that information and give you more information about it. And if not, then you can probably check with your national or your city, national NAR, but your city one too. They probably have some input about it too. Awesome.
Any last question? Can we still have one? Do you think 11 a.m. to 2 is a successful time on Sundays?
It all depends on your city and your state and what's happening. If it's a Sunday and there's a football game that's big, like I'm in Atlanta, if Georgia Tech or Georgia is playing, and it's between 11 and 2, you have not a lot of people in your open house. Like, you just have to kind of play by ear. I say try different things. And honestly, if you're going to lead gen, go put up a sign and sit. Like, I know a guy that built a whole real estate business just doing open houses, almost like 300 and something open days out of 365. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he just put an open house sign out there and just sat in a different house and just lead generated. And he built $1 million business off of that. That's how he started as a rookie, and he ended up being a rookie of the year. So there's no right or wrong. Try it out and see. And also talk to agents that if they've hosted open house in a certain area, be like, hey, what times did you do and did it make sense? I've had some of my biggest open houses on Saturday, not Sunday, but it really was a perfect timing. Sunday was like about a lot of football games, and Sunday it rained, and Saturday was nothing, and there literally was no other listings in that neighborhood. So I had like 60 people or 60 groups come through. I had an open house that I hosted on a house that this is probably my biggest story. It was 160 groups of people that came through in 3 hours on a Saturday. I underpriced the listing that much. It was the one that needed to do work, but it was in a really good area. And I knew it was going to be like this. And we already had no more showings available. So I told agents just to bring their clients. So some of them were agents with clients. I had hired a friend of mine to sit in the front and literally just go ahead and check people in and give them folders for anybody that was not represented. And I had 2 other agents with me walking around answering questions. So you just never know. You just have to play different, figure it out. Every listing is different. Every neighborhood is different. And days depend on weather too. And if it's warm or cold. Like, it's snowing in Atlanta right now. So if this was a Saturday or Sunday, your open house would be canceled because nobody comes out in the snow. We're going to take a quick break after this one. But Roma, I don't know what happened, but somehow there's these streaks. Do you see them?
Yes, can you try and do? Maybe you just click something.
What do you want me to do? Okay, so we're going to just have
Control
to
Z.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it out on that break, and we'll see if they disappear, okay?
Sure.
Somebody please read this for me.
The difference between big and really big is how you manage your time and your focus. Again, Gary Keller.
Yeah. Being focused and setting goals and really making sure that you're taking full advantage of it is the biggest part. So when you actually are working on preparing for open houses, you want to prepare, prospect, and pursue. Those are the basic things. So when preparing is, most of the work for open houses is not done on the day of open house, guys. That's kind of your smooth sailing, just browsing and talking to people, right? It is done before the day open house. And as a matter of fact, probably should be done the week of. So if you have an open house on Sunday, it should start on Monday. Promoting it already. And if you can circle prospect, call people in the neighborhood to tell them, hey, I'm hosting an open house. I would love for you to come and see the house. If it's not your listing, please double check with the agent if that's okay. Because some agents will circle prospect themselves and you don't want to be making same phone calls. So you can start that. So it's all about preparation. So that was an example of how you should start earlier. So prepare your mindset, get excited about it. Practice your conversations. Ask an agent that does a heck of a job converting on open houses. Hey, what do you say? What are your scripts? And ask them that and start practicing those scripts. So here it is. So week before open house. Monday, make sure you select the house or even prior to. Tuesday, post it online, walk the neighborhood, invite neighbors for showings, only if the agent that has the listing says it's okay. Okay, because you don't want to get the listing agent to give you open house opportunity and then they get mad at you and you don't get any more, right? Wednesday, post it online again. Now it says install a yard sign. That's normally the yard of where the house is going to be. You can put a sign out there earlier, okay? And then Thursday, post it online again and invite your database. This is a great touch. You send an email saying, I'm super excited, I'm hosting an open house. Even if it's not your open house, it's gonna look like you're in business and you have a listing. And I always tell my agents in the office, if they host an open house, you say we're from the same office. They say, we have this listing. Yes, it's mine, but they're part of my office. So therefore it's their listing too. Okay, it hits our numbers. And then Friday, you post it online again and you prepare market stats. You print your flyers, you door knock, And there's a lot of different things that you can have. I actually have a flyer, a flyer that we've created. And if you want to get it, Roma, put your email there, Roma. And then so if somebody wants that, I've created a few brochures of things that we have when we do host open houses. One is steps to home buying. So like get pre-approved, da-da-da. It's kind of a cool graphic, but you can probably pull up on Canva and be like steps to home buying. Print something like that out, that you have something else to give them from you with your information on it, not just your business card, right? So prepare your flyers because you want to make sure you have some flyers if the listing agent doesn't have flyers to give out. What clients like to know, this is what they want to know about when you host the open house. Community and neighborhood information, relocation information if people are relocating, first-time buyer specific. So if it's a first-time home buyer price point, you want to make sure you have some information from a lender, maybe 100% financing programs or any grants. Like in Georgia, we have Georgia Dream that gives $15,000 to first-time home buyers. The mortgage information is so valuable that even though you're a real estate agent, if you have great lenders that can give you more information to give out, that's how you can capture a potential buyer, okay? Then you go prospect. That's when you build your trust and report, provide value, you capture information, and you qualify the leads on it. So I think that out of all of this, the most important part is definitely the preparation for it, okay? And then pursue is where you actually start building a relationship and providing the value for them. You need to know your stuff. And if you're a new agent, you might not have stats. You may not have done it. So then know your team's, your office's stats, know your market stats, understand personality types. If you don't know about the DISC profile, learn it, read it, because you will notice buyers that come in what their DISC profile is, because you want to mirror and match them. And then have something to offer visitors. Now, some of you might want to have snacks or whatever. I like giving them things that they can use, like the steps to home buying, market stats, the brochure for the actual home, and then my card. And so I like to give them a packet that they're going home with. So if they went to 5 open houses, mine might be the only one that gives them some value. So I like to give value when they have it.
Natalie, I'm sorry to interrupt. Just a quick thing. Did you want us to put our emails in, or did you want us to email Roma?
You can email Roma. Well, what's easier for you, Roma? Good question.
Email me.
Email her. So she'll put
Yeah.
your email. She'll put her email so you guys can email, because then she can
Okay.
send
And
it to
then,
you guys.
also on the left side of your screen, there should be a little annotate, like a little pencil. And if you click on that, I don't know how it looks on the presenter screen. It might be a little different, maybe on top, like a top bar or something. But it says annotate.
Oh, there
and
it
if you
is.
click on it, you can just click the delete button. It should get rid of those lines.
Hello.
Yay! Okay, who's the tech savvy person? Okay, I owe you a big time. Listen,
No, you're
let me know
fine.
again. I learned something new. We all learned something new today. So thank you so much for that.
No
Yeah,
problem.
So you want to capture information and qualifying your leads. So you want to make sure you have a sign in. So somebody else is doing it. Stop, y'all stop it. Have a sign-in sheet. I used to use the app on an iPad. What I realized with the iPad is I wouldn't see if they actually filled it out or not. So I like to have an actual old school sign-in sheet.
Go buddy.
Please mute. Thank you. And then you can also use command to get it in. I just like the old school sign-in sheet, guys, because I make sure that I write a full name with all the information. What I notice is if you have 5 pieces of info and the next person only puts their name and phone number, that everybody else only does the name and phone number. So if I notice that, I put bogus information up on the person that skipped it so that the next one fills it all the way out. You can use the KW app to send them your information as well. And then once they sign up with the KW app, your face is always there when they look at homes. Ask a lot of questions and remember that you're there to get leads and appointments. So don't be scared to ask. That's my other script. If they say they don't have an agent, I say, hey, listen, I get done today at 4 o'clock. Is it okay if we jump on a quick call so that we can schedule a buyer appointment for Monday? And so that we can go ahead and start looking at homes for you. And I try to schedule them on an appointment right away, right there on the spot. And if we do, I send them a calendar invite right away so that they can accept it. And then the last one is to pursue. This is the part that most agents drop the ball on, me included. You have to follow up and convert your leads from open houses. So you want to put them in a database, follow up with all the attendees. You can send them a card if you get their information as far as address. And then you want to make sure that you mark them to do a quick follow-up afterwards. So put them in your database and schedule some potential things and tasks for them. Reevaluate the goals that you set and see if you succeeded. And did you not, then what are the changes you need to make for next time? Okay. Maria.
I just have a quick question about that. So I hosted an open house this past weekend. And as everybody was leaving, I said, let me know if you have any questions, and kind of covered all those bases. I was wondering, because I want to follow up with those people, what the best way to reach out would be that's kind of personalized. It's not just, let me know if you have any more questions. That's kind of like a consistent pick. I want to offer some value.
Me personally, I love a phone call. I think phone calls are more. And then I also would be like, hey, I wanted to send you something. Can I have your address? And then you could do a handwritten note after the phone call. That's 2 touches.
Okay.
Right?
Awesome.
And thirdly, if you know that listing went under contract, I would give them a text, shoot them a text. Hey, the listing I met you at, great news. It actually went under contract. I know you were interested in the neighborhood. If we have something else that hits the market coming soon, are you interested? Like, you just have ways. You can just circle it around that neighborhood or house all the time. But yeah, phone call definitely. And then ask them too, hey, do you mind if I stay in touch with you? Is text better, phone better? Which one is better for you? I want to make sure that I'm communicating the way that you want me to.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, guys. Actually, hold on. Yeah, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back and do continue it. But I'm going to leave this activity on here. You don't have to do this during this 5-minute break, but I want you to take a picture of it, because I need you to set up a plan to host an open house in the next 3 to 4 weeks, if you can. So this is kind of a setting a plan. So during the 5 minutes, if you don't want to take a break, can you do that? I just have to take a quick break and I will be right back. Roma, go ahead and set it for 5 minutes and then text me. Awesome, guys. Be right back. So here's a quick recap. So open house best practices. You set your goals, make sure you pick your house, and pick a house that you know is going to bring some people in. Prepare and practice your scripts and prepare for the home. Pick the time on when you're going to host it. Make sure you communicate with the agent that if you're hosting it for them, that it's the good time that's going to work, and that they let the sellers know, right? So don't just randomly pick a time. Then prepare some stats on it and make sure that you're safe. The benefits of it is high return of investment, quality of leads, prospecting tool. It's amazing and it's inexpensive. Prepare, prospect, and pursue. You have to prepare for the open house. You're prospecting while you're in the open house, and then you're going to pursue once you get on, and that's the follow-up. There's money in follow-up, guys. Okay. So here's a quick aha. Let's go ahead and hit 2 quick ahas over something either in the curriculum or anything extra that I added layers of that you are going, oh, crap. Okay, I didn't think of this. Wait, we didn't learn anything in the last hour, guys? I'm failing?
I'd say go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just literally writing in my ahas about scheduling an appointment as soon as you finish the open house with potential buyers to sign with.
Yeah, because you're fresh on their mind. And remember, if they can't open house, they're probably going to go to another open house. So like literally, if I don't have anybody else in there and I know I connected with them, I might be like, hey, I just looked at my calendar. Monday at 6 o'clock, I'm wide open for a buyer consultation. Will that work for you guys? Right? But I had scripts and conversations prior to them leaving about the fact that I want to tell them about the steps to it. I want to make sure that they are partnered with the right lender. I want to make sure that I can look for off-market properties. I know how to negotiate. Oh, you don't have extra money? I have a lender that has 100% financing, and no worries. I can negotiate in my actual commission to the seller, and I can negotiate to get you some closing costs, right? So when you're showing them all these things, you're not just, like I tell people all the time, you're not hiring me to open houses, you're hiring me for all the other things, right? Excellent. And Shauna, you had one.
Yeah, just the concept of like having just a little extra to give them with to take back with them. Because like I remember when I was just looking for houses, I would go back and I'm like, oh, what was this one thing that they said, or what was this one thing? What about this room? And having that little extra something for some people, it's really helpful. So I'm gonna take that with me. Thank you.
Perfect. And because everybody's so tech savvy or video-ish, feel free to even do a video like, hey, so these are the steps to home buying, da da da. Or if you have not done this, this is the first part, prepare that. I have lenders can get your home on get your 100% financing or bank statement loans or what. Like do a quick video, like why they should hire you. And when you send them a message or text, send them the video. Hey, just so you don't forget about me, I'm the one that you met at blah, blah, 123 Main Street. And we talked a little about lenders. I have some amazing lenders. If you want me to connect you with them, like do a video. Like set yourself apart. Because most agents are like, it was nice to meet you at an open house, right? That's the text. So set yourself apart. And the cool part about it is if you do a video, you don't have to say the name, you just send the same video to everybody else. All right. So we got to do one part in the middle of the training that we have to do. So I need everybody to, while you can on your phone, go to kweval.com. They want us to get evaluations when we do these actual classes. And so you have your region, like I'm in the Southeast region, so I do a drop down for that. We're doing this virtually. And name of the course for this night is Ignite Session 7 Open House. My instructor, I'm the instructor, is Natalie Vuoriaho. So if you can just go ahead and pull that up on your phone while I kind of move forward, our goal is always to give you 5-star teaching. We have gone through quite a bit to become KW instructors. I know Zoom is always very hard, and I'm very thankful for you guys that are chiming in and participating because it makes it easier for us for sure. Okay. So I'm going to leave that up just for a little bit as we're going to continue on open houses. And I'm going to shift shortly from open houses into social media. Now, social media could be an 8-day class on its own, guys. So we're going to just do it at a high level. But the one thing that we do at KW with social media that's really, really cool. And I'm going to tell you, it's helped my engagement numbers when we did it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't do it. It's my admin Roma that does it, but I'm going to teach you a trick that's going to help you stay relevant when dealing with your sphere of influence on your social media. Roma, go ahead and put the KW eval info into chat, and so I can switch over from this next one. Okay. So she's going to put it. So success systems, guys. I know we're doing Ignite online, right? Via Zoom. But if you did Ignite in a classroom setting, one of the things you want to always do is the daily success system. So while you're taking Ignite, we have a little thing that we do, which is 10 conversations a day about real estate, 10 new contacts added, and 10 handwritten notes. Okay, so if you haven't seen this yet, that means that the instructors may have skipped this because technically we're not doing it here. I wanted to still speak about this. If you're doing this every day for the 5 days, if you work 5 days a week and every day you have 10 conversations about real estate, you add 10 new contacts, and you do 10 handwritten notes to people that you had those conversations with, just saying, hey, thanks so much for talking to me. You're going to start building a business because most people are not doing that. And we're going to talk about 10-5-1 social media engagement in a little bit as well. But the daily success systems is that. Now, in addition to that, if you are not busy, you should be going and previewing properties. You can pull properties that are vacant. Do not go and preview a property if you don't have a buyer for it on a home that's not vacant, because that's not fair for the seller. Ask them to go. Or go and if you're not hosting an open house, go check out open houses, but make sure you bring a card, introduce yourself to the agent, tell them you're an agent, you're just previewing the home, and then do not speak to potential buyers that are walking through there because they are the lead of the agent hosting the open house. So you don't go to other open houses trying to get buyers. Make sense? Because that's happened before, and that's not cute. Do not call list. There's going to be a lot of changes on do not call list. When you have somebody that signs in on open house, that does not mean you're allowed to call them. right? And there's going to be some new guidelines that's about to roll out. So be ready for that in the next couple of weeks. I would recommend you have something in your writing saying, can I contact you? Right? Even if it's a box when you sign up. And if they say yes, can I contact you to give you, and you can ask them, can I contact you to give you some information, more information? If they put yes, then you have the right to call them or text them. If not, you can get a big hefty fine. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. This is a great affirmation, guys. So before you start your open house, before you pick up the phone, before you make a call, this is an affirmation that you can say to make you feel good about talking to people. You're not bothering them when you're following up. You're there to offer a service and give them some and contribute to their buying experience or listing experience or life experience. And people that when they know you're not going after them to try to make money, that they know you really are caring for them and wanted to give them something and come from a place of contribution, they're going to want to be in a relationship with you. Okay. We don't do these role plays and conversation lists, but I will tell you this. When you're making calls, I highly recommend you decide who you call in and have a contact conversation list before you start making the calls and lead generating. So we're going to skip to that. So we use, so I don't know if everybody's with KW or not, but with KW, we have Command and Connect. And you have a lot of extra help and things about open houses in here. If you want to watch videos, there's probably scripts on here. So that's also a great resource for you to grab more information. And you know, on Thursdays, you have the tech stuff. But I highly recommend that you might look at also videos on that. So now we're going to jump into session 8, capture leads with social media, which I love because I feel like social media and AI is the future of real estate. And it's a good way to stay relevant and in front of people. So when I'm in my apartment in Barcelona, I'm able to stay in touch with people all the time using my social media. And they think I'm here because I make my posts look like I'm here, right? Even though I'm sitting in my apartment in Barcelona and looking out the window and chatting with them. Let me just go ahead. Sorry, guys. I just need to switch the sessions right quick. Why is this taking forever?
Hey, Natalie, there's a question. Would you like to answer this one for
Perfect. Excellent.
Kisomo? What are the other ways to find a buyer apart from hosting an open house?
Here's a list of ways you can get buyers. Social media. You can run ads about first-time home buyers or home buying, host home buyer seminars, host investment seminars, you know, how to invest in real estate. Because if they already own a house and they have equity at home, they can actually go and invest in real estate. I just made a post. I said, you know, who do you know that has at least one share of Bitcoin? DM me. And I had 2 of my friends DM me, 2 people that we know that they know has at least one thing of Bitcoin. Why do you think I wanted to know that? Anybody?
You know if they are into investment?
Well, this is the thing. Bitcoin right now is like 100,000, one Bitcoin. That means they have all of this like money over there and it's volatile. So like I have one of my clients that found out he has Bitcoin and I told him he's been not able to sleep because he's got 500,000 in Bitcoin. And I told him, I said, I can take that 500,000 and help you buy 8 investment properties. Because all you need is 20% down. And then we can go and buy an investment property. You can rent it out. So I made that. So I looked for investment buyers with that little catch. Okay. All right. I don't know why my computer is running so slow. So I would say home buyer seminar. Also, if you go to some of my friends are doing those what do you call it, like wedding expos, and they go and get a booth. People that are getting married, guess what they're gonna buy? a house, right? So if you have a way and you have expos, like wedding expos, it's not going to necessarily happen overnight, but it could be a great way to potentially get buyers for the future. So home buyers, home buyers, any kind of home buyers, that's a great way. Golden letters are great for sellers, but if they sell in, odds are they're going to also do what? Buy in. A golden letter is basically anybody you know in your database that owns a house, look at how much equity they have. If they don't want to move from the house, some of my clients have used that equity to go and buy investment property. So if you don't know what a golden letter is, you can Google it, put Keller Williams golden letter. It's basically saying, hey, you have this much equity in your house. If you're interested in figuring out ways to use it, give me a call. Those are probably the biggest and best ways. The other way too, you can probably go and look for a list of, a list of apartment complexes. If you live in an apartment, host a game night sponsored by your business. Everybody that lives there, guess what? They're renting. I want you to think about this. If you find renters, they're potential buyers. Figure out how to get in front of them. Okay? So those are a few different ways. Did that help?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. And some of our offices, KW offices, they actually have a software that they pay into that you can go and say, hey, this Camden Buckhead apartment complex, can you give me a list of people? You can send an invite to a seminar, online seminar, in-person seminar. You can send them and hey, also, if you send them a postcard, your lender can go ahead and pitch in half of it. I think it's half still. So if you pay for half of the cost, they pay for half of the cost, and you put co-branded stuff, they're allowed to do that. That's not considered a kickback. So that's the way to cut the cost too. All right, so this is it. Capture leads with social media. How many of you would say that you're doing a bang up job on social media? Raise your hand. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny. How many of you did a great job on TikTok and you almost lost your heart and your life a couple of days ago when it went down, huh? Okay, all right, got you. Make sure that you don't just do one social media type. Make sure that you're diversified, because we just never know what can happen, and we just saw that, right? So make sure that you're trickling information that you're doing in all the different ones. But you want to find out also like where is your sphere at? And if you're wanting to, like, I have some clients of mine that they're very young, and a lot of their sphere is just first-time home buyers. And so now they realize everybody's in their sphere already kind of bought. So now they're not doing too much. So now they're trying to get a little bit older clientele base. And so they're having to figure out, where can I go to find them, right? Especially when they're trying to move to listings. So we're going to do capture leads because we just finished capture leads with open houses. Now capture leads with social media. Now, today's agenda, we're going to go to 10-5-1 engagement system. We're going to posting practices, social media strategies. We're going to talk about the recaps and aha. So as you're finding some good stuff, guys, I want you to go and write them down. Okay. And then we're going to talk about the daily success systems that we just referred to. All right. Somebody read this out loud.
It takes time.
To learn. Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. It takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it. Gary Keller.
Yeah, they said it takes 10,000 hours to become a master of something. 10,000 hours, right? So when we're learning something, great. Then you need to implement it. But then for really becoming really good at it, you're going to have to do it over and over and over again. Or like when it's social media, if you are not wanting to do all of it, you could hire it out, but do not hire it out until you have income. Lead with revenue. You don't want to go and start paying somebody to do it. And I know you're getting the calls I'm doing about leads. We'll do your social media. Will you do your business plans? Real estate agents are the biggest database for salespeople to try to get us to go and buy things. I'm sure you're getting the same amount of calls I'm getting. So let's talk about the 10-5-1 engagement system. And I'm gonna add another little sprinkle in there that's not in the list in this, but it's been great for me. Social media is powerful and a free marketing tool. It doesn't cost you anything, right, to do it, unless you're paying for leads in social media. It's an opportunity for you to expand your sphere with just from your smartphone. And if you do a really good job and engage with your followers, you're looking on your social media, you're forever seeing signs to why people would want to do a real estate move. Because in social media, what do people post? I got engaged. My son graduated. I'm an empty nester. I had death in the family. My mom passed away. What do all of these things have in common?
They're big life events.
Big life events. And normally with those big life events, there is something going to happen to their residents. We're getting married. Okay. Do you have a house, and does the future husband have a house? And are we buying one together? That could be 3 transactions: sell, sell, buy. Or if you're really doing the job right, it might be keep, investment portfolio, and sell, right? Just depends. We don't want to always go after the money. Selling is not always the best thing. And in addition to that, if somebody's saying my kid is graduating and moving out, I'm an empty nester, downsize. Mom passes away, time to sell a house unless they want to move into that or whatever, right? Be a resource. You are forever seeing signs to why somebody might want to go and do something with real estate. Okay. I just took a job in DC. Relocation, right? I just got this huge promotion. Upgrade. Life is hard. I just got laid off. Okay, do we need to give them some assistance on figuring out how to keep their mortgage or house hack their house, right? So there's a lot of different things that you see on there. So the reason we called 10-5-1 is we are doing 10 things, 5 things, and 1 thing. So every single day, you're supposed to go and like 10 posts and heart it. Okay, every single day. My suggestion to you is make it be different people all the time. Because by you going and liking it, it now tells the algorithm, hey, you like this thing. I have noticed a pattern that when we like or comment on somebody, a couple of days later, they're commenting on us. And it seems to be because now I show up on their algorithm, on their feed, because there was some communication, right? So 10 likes or loves a day. Okay. 5 comments a day. So what do you comment? Roma, can you come off mute and tell them what you comment? I don't do my comments. I don't do my likes. I have outsourced that to my admin. Roma, what do you normally go comment?
Most of the time, congratulations, happy birthday, best wishes. Those are the common ones.
So all the positive things are. And I've also seen if somebody's passed away, hey, our condolences or whatever. Now, I also go and comment. So we probably do a lot more than 5. When I go on social media, if I browse through and I see there's somebody I want to stay in touch with, I do go and comment on some things too. So 10 likes or loves and 5 comments. And then 1 DM a day. And it could be you saw them post something, hey, my son is graduating, I'm super proud. And you might comment on it and you might like it. And then also slide into their DM and say, oh my gosh, I know you have to be so proud of your son. Is he going, what is his next plan? Is he going off to college, right? Start a conversation. And they go, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's going to go to Georgia State University. Oh, how exciting. So what's the plan when he goes off? I mean, you're an empty nester. Are you going to go on a vacation? What's your dreams, right? So we use the Ford model. Ford stands for family, occupation, and dreams, recreation and dreams, right? So these are like ways to have a conversation and talk about the person's life. So, at that one, you say, oh, dreams, for example. So what are you going to do now with all this time that you have, right? And if they say, oh, girl, I am going to downsize and I'm going to get me a condo in the city and I'm going to walk to the grocery store. I don't want to pick up or drive a car ever again. I'm tired of this carpooling, blah, 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 right? Oh my gosh, how crazy. I'm in real estate. If you're thinking about downsizing, I'll be the perfect person for you, right? So you ask questions to stay in touch with them, and people like to hear it. They like for people to ask them about themselves, right? And tell you about it. Now, we do another additional thing. We do 10-5-1, and I would call it a happy birthday. Roma, what do we do daily in DM from Facebook and LinkedIn?
Birthday greetings every day.
Every day. Because Facebook comes up every day and shows you who has a birthday. And every day we have the same message that we send up. She copy and paste that on, sends it in a DM, and I wait for them to respond back. When they respond back, I start a conversation with them. So not only do we do 10-5-1, and I'm going to tell you, that has probably been the most powerful. People are like, oh my God, thank you so much for the beautiful message. Hey, do you have anything great planned? I know that you travel all the time. You going anywhere? What's going on in your life? And I have been able to have conversations with people, and then somehow they always slide it into real estate. How is real estate for you? It's really good. Do you have any real estate needs? No, we're good. We love the house that we're in. Okay, awesome. Hey, but I am concerned about any of your friends that might be renting right now because they're not going to be able to afford buying in the future because affordability in Atlanta is starting to become a very challenging thing. Do you know anybody that you would want to help them build wealth like yourself with you owning the house? And this could all be done in DM. Okay? So that's another way that we do it. And everybody loves to get a birthday greeting and a birthday message. Okay? Quick ahas off of what we just covered. So we're talking about 10-5-1, and it's going to change your algorithm. Also, it's going to keep you engaged and having conversations with people in your sphere. What's your aha? Give me something, or tell me how you're going to start using it. Is anybody going to use the 10-5-1 method?
I do. I have been keeping close track of what I'm doing, particularly on Facebook, because that's where I have the most contacts.
Okay.
And I go through on my friends on my app, and then it'll say, like, while you were talking, I pulled up my phone and it said I had 90 people currently online. And so I clicked on that, and then I was able to see who was active right now, so you can make a comment, so you can get the conversation going quickly.
Perfect. Smart.
But
Love
I
it.
really,
Love it.
yeah, I really liked the Ford model, the family occupation recreation dreams. I think that's a really good model to have your conversations around.
Yeah, and even the people that you don't know. Like, I travel a lot. Like, I do like 25 trips a year. I just spent 4 weeks in Southeast Asia, all of December. So I'm always out somewhere. And when I sit at the airport in any of the lounges, I literally use the Ford model to talk to total strangers sitting right there at the bar or sitting at the cafe, like they're going and getting the food. Like, it's like, oh, so, just out of curiosity, like, what are some of your dreams? Like, if you had $1 million, what would you do? Like, this random thing, right? And you'll be surprised, everybody start chatting. And next thing you know, they're like, oh my gosh, so what do you do, right? Whatever you ask them, they always ask you, right? And I'm like, oh, I would keep doing what I'm doing. I get to help people build wealth. Like, it's amazing. And they go, oh, you're a financial advisor? And I go, no. Oh, no, that's just money thing. No, I don't like that. No, I help people build wealth via real estate. That's my script. I am not a real estate agent. I am not a realtor. I am a wealth builder for people when it comes to real estate. Right? And so when you understand and know when you can pivot a little bit to get real estate in the conversation. But yeah, love it. All right, let's keep going. Posting practices. This is where we all fail. Fail hard, me included. Roma, you see this, right? She's laughing. So we're working on this, but I suck at giving personal content sometimes because she does all the business stuff. So we haven't really been good about it, but we're working on it. So there's room for improvement. If you have a business page, your business page is supposed to be all business. This is why I said there's nothing called, well, that's my personal life. I don't want people to know it. If you're in real estate, I'm so sorry. That's not true. Because they are hiring you because of who you are. They're not necessarily hiring you also for your skills. They're hiring you because they like you. And they're hiring you because you move a certain way. And if you don't show who you are, you're not going to get leads. Like, I have some of my biggest referral people from Facebook that I have never met in my life. And they go to a church and they refer me all the business from that church. And they have specifically told me, I know we have a ton of realtors at this church, but I refer a business to you, Natalie, because I like how you operate, the information you've been giving out. And when I send you that first referral, you took such good care of them that I will continue to send you referrals. We have one person under contract right now from that person. I close at least 2 people a year from this one person that I have never met on Facebook. Okay? Never met. So you have to put personal in there. And I am very transparent. I mean, if you follow me on social media, I will come on looking like doo-doo one day and talking about the fact that life's hard. I'm dealing with some stuff. Next day, I'll be all dolled up going somewhere to an event. I'm on vacation. Like, I want to show them reality. Like, hey, I'm working on losing 10 pounds. Woke up one day and I gained 10 pounds. I don't know what happening. I think it's premenopausal. Like, I'm being transparent. Every time I do a post like that, it gets the most amount of likes. It gets the most amount of engagement. It doesn't matter. I ain't say nothing about real estate, but it's the fact that people are clicking and going, and then they see the little business that's in there too. So I would recommend, if you have a personal page, all those people should be your potential future clients. If you have iffy stuff on your personal page, hide, delete, get rid of it. Because you are the face of your business, and how you present yourself matters. I'm going to leave it there. You can take it however you want to, but if you're planning on only having a business page, you're just not going to get that engagement unless you're TikTok famous and everybody wants to watch your videos about real estate. Everybody has 15,000 real estate agents on their social media. They're tired of seeing us going, here's the house. Come to my open house. 5 top reasons for people to buy. You should winterize your home. Like, they're so tired of seeing that. They're going to want to see, what are you doing? How are you doing? Shani, you have your hand up.
Let's say you decide, because I'm considering making a business page separate from my personal pages. I'm brand new at this. And would you recommend, like, and I feel like this is a silly question, but would you recommend linking them? Like, I feel like that would be like an obvious thing to do.
Linked. They're going to have to be linked.
Right.
So when you do it, you can't like just do a business page. They normally have to be a person that has a business. Yes, you need to create a business page. And this is why Facebook, and when you're doing like paying for leads, you have to do it from your business page. I don't think Facebook doesn't allow us to do it from our personal page, right?
Sorry?
Facebook does not allow us to do advertisement on a personal page, right?
No.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. See, Karen, you know what's so sad? I've never run an ad. My admin does it. And I'm like, right, I'm saying it right? So yeah, it doesn't. So you need to have a business page. And if you're new, I would create one right away and start adding content, right? Because as you're building it up, it's going to be there and it's going to start using the algorithm. This is my rule. Everything real estate goes on my business page. Everything business coaching wise goes on my business coaching page. And then I take a little bit of that and I sprinkle that into my personal page. So I used to put everything on anything and everything the same. It wasn't working well. My algorithms weren't really giving me what I wanted. I was sitting there like feeling like one of those people in those movies, like, I'm not getting enough likes, right? Like, what am I doing wrong? Nobody likes me. I went from 1,921 Instagram followers and somebody dropped off after this last post, right? And I was like, wait, hold on, pause. I had to realize it's not me. It's how the algorithm shows up and what I'm putting out there. And if I'm not engaging with them, I don't show up, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
So you just start doing it. And the more you do it, the more you communicate, you'll start seeing the shift. Like, it's going to help you. But yes, you got to set up a business page. Everything business goes there. You can even ask for other agents in the office. Hey, I know you have a new listing. Do you mind if I promote it this week? And you promote other agents' listings, but you just have to make sure you say listed by blah, 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 right? And like, here's a great first-time home buyer price point. Listed by in our office. Super excited to give you the highlight. If you go and look at a preview of property, take a video of it, ask the agent if you can do a quick reel on it, and then post that on your personal page. I've seen agents that have no listings start getting listings because people think they have listings because they post in listings. You just got to make sure you follow your guidelines. In Georgia, if it's not my listing, I have to say who it is, their phone number, and their broker's phone number. Okay, so just know what that is. Simone, you got a question?
Yes, thank you. Love this call. You're amazing. You mentioned that you sprinkle a little bit of both on your personal. Do you do the opposite? Do you sprinkle a little personal on your business?
I do not. I do not, unless it's like my Monday motivational post. That I will do. I try not to put the personal stuff on my business because I'm like, if they're on my business, they shouldn't worry about my personal. That's just my way. And I am so not a social media expert, right? I just feel like business should be business only, but personal should be a little bit of that. I want my people to really connect with me more on my personal page than I do my business page. My business page is there for them to vet me to see if I actually sell real estate, to see who I am as a person. Like, you know what I mean? Not my personality, but, oh, she actually sells real estate. So like we have our top producer gala coming up. I'm gonna do pictures on that. That's personal, that's business type. That's gonna be on there. So that's gonna be a reel of that. If I'm like up on a panel for real estate, if I'm teaching real estate, I might put that. It's not selling a house, but it's in the real estate world. Okay. Patricia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Loving this class. Quick question. So I get a lot of people that say to me, "Oh, I seen your post. I see your post. I'm following you on Facebook." And I'm like, "Well, great. Did you share my post? Did you share my live? Did you share it?" So how do you handle those type of comments when they tell you that? How do you handle that from someone?
I think I saw a meme before, like, your friends are the last ones to support you. And when they say friend, it's sphere of influence.
Right.
So like they'll be the last one to support you, be like, I love your stuff. And they will never share nothing.
True.
So here's how I do it. I have about 5 or 6 friends that also are business owners. When I make a post, I tag them on the post or I send them a group text like, hey, I just posted something. Please go comment or share. Even sometimes they can't share, right? Because it's they don't want their page to get messed up, right? Because they're not in real estate. I asked them to comment right away. And Roma knows that when I do a post or she does a post, she has to watch the comments. Because when the comment comes, we need to comment back. Because that keeps it up on the algorithm. I'll go from only 5 likes on one post, and if it gets fire, to get to like 300 likes on a post. Because we actually got the algorithm going. So I have literally posted something I thought it was important and I got nothing and I took it off and I posted it later and asked my friends to comment and then it was like wildfire. It just kept on going at that point. Gotcha. So you have to understand the algorithms and you can't ask people people are just going to support different ways. I don't care if my friends share it or not. I just say, I'm so glad that you love my post and you know I'm in real estate. Who do you know that is looking to buy a real estate this year? Or who do you know that's looking to sell their house this year? Who do you know that's downsizing this year? Like I would ask them straight up for the lead. So we're going to keep going just so I have enough time for content, but I will definitely stay on a little bit longer after this class if you guys want to hit me with more questions, okay? All right, so 80%. So what's the 80% that you can talk about? Guys and girls, anything you want. Your pets, your art, your cooking, baking recipes, exercising, working out, outdoor adventures, live music, team sports, your kids, whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, try to avoid talking about these things. Politics, religion, unless you're in religion really heavily and you know that this is your jam and this is where your people are too and this is important for you, that's fine. But understand and know that everybody that you might want to work with might not fit into those conversations. I know that we're in like politics is forefront right now because we just had a new president inauguration yesterday, right? So just be careful of that because you don't want to potentially lose a client or somebody because you made a post. I don't post nothing negative unless the negativity is about my life. And I'm like being transparent about my struggle, what's going on. Like when my father passed away, like I made a long post when I finally figured out why I was struggling with his passing. And I realized it was because we were estranged, a lot of information, right? But when I made that post, it got so much attention. And I had a lot of people that DM me, be like, yo, I appreciate the post. I'm estranged from my parent. I really want to connect better with them. Like I was transparent with it. So that's about the only negative I put on. But I don't start talking about like other people or what's happening in, out in society and try to get into that negative bandwagon because I'm a positive person. So I want to make sure my personal and my business page shows the positivity. Like even when things are just wrong, I'm still looking at this cup with 2 little pieces of water as it's almost full. Like that's just me, right? That's my mindset. So I'll make sure. So you want to make sure that 80% of your personal post falls into some of this. Teresa, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So I just started Facebook probably a few years ago. I'm kind of a private person, but so I'm still kind of learning with the Facebook thing. And I'm a mom, I have 3 kids, they're all grown, but I'm just like, I've post, but I don't post on my personal like every day or every month. I mean, so there's things on my personal, but where do you start? Where do I start? Like, what should I start with when I start posting? Should I start putting stuff, from a while ago and just, go backdate it and stuff like that? Because a lot of people don't know about me.
It doesn't matter. Just start doing it. Like even videos, people are like, but I want the video to be perfect. Just do a reel. Like just talk about it. Be like, oh my gosh. So listen, maybe you can give me some help and assistance. So I just took a class and they told me that I need to start putting more personal stuff on here and be engaged more in social media because real estate is in social media. Like, what do you want to hear about? Like I would do a reel just asking that. Like, what should I post? Like, you know me. Like, what do you want to know about me? Like I would literally make a reel off of that. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Anything that you post will be. And let me just go on and say that. I know agents that don't put no personal stuff. I know agents that don't have no personal stuff on social media that's killing the real estate game. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying that it works for a lot of people, right? So if you don't want to do it and that's not your jam, maybe open houses are, or maybe calling expires, maybe calling withdrawn. You don't have to do it all. And if you don't want to have that and you want to keep your personal private, do it. So these are just ways that if you want to start taking advantage of social media, my only thing is like Nike's slogan, just do it. Teresa, just start posting stuff. Do you drink coffee? A picture of your coffee cup. This is the best coffee I just had at this cafe. Where do you like to go and have your coffee in town? Right? The kids come and visit you for the holidays, right? Took a picture of them and be like, oh my gosh, my babies are back. They still don't clean.
Thank you. I feel like, I mean, because there's a lot of things that I missed that I didn't post, like with my kids and stuff, but I'm not an everyday poster. So I'm like, gosh, but like you said, okay, I drink coffee, yes, but like, that's why I was saying, where do you start? Do you just
start? It don't matter where you start. You can start tomorrow, just do a post. Right now, today, you can take a picture of me with this thing, but just block out everybody else and be like, I'm taking this class online with Keller Williams right now. I'm super excited. Like I'm learning so much about real estate. I am here to serve you and show you what to do when it comes to real estate. Like that's all you got to do, right? All right, so you're welcome. 20%. That would be anything tied to your business. Listings, open houses, awards, speaking events, that's your 20% that goes on there. What's happening with the market, maybe lender information, maybe interest rates, all of that. Then you're also going above and beyond. If you do community service, now this is tricky because I sit on the board for Homeless Shelter for Families here in Atlanta and this is my 2nd term. And I give 10% of all of my commissions every year to them, okay? So I don't post a lot about that, but you're supposed to because people want to see you give back. So like, I don't do enough about the posts that we do on it. But if you do a lot of community service, you should do a post. It is not a brag thing. It's a connection thing. And when you do, you might even put, I'm not doing this to showcase and brag. I'm doing this to motivate you to find ways to give back to our community because it's needed. So come help us if you want to, right? So it's a way of spinning it. ChatGPT is your best friend. I am a horrible writer and I will go to ChatGPT and say, so let's say I have a post that's going to be about, we just did a donation drive for Nicholas House, right? I will go on there and be like, write a motivational, inspiring post for the food drive that we just did for Nicholas House, a homeless shelter for families. and have a call of action to ask them to come and support us and help us next time. ChatGPT, boom, has all of that, and I say add hashtag. This is how I do my post, okay? So use ChatGPT to polish your post up, and always put things like to ask for a call of action or engaging, because that's going to be the key, because you want people to comment. So here's some social media strategies. You want to connect with people you know or who you have met in one way or shape or form. So how do you find them? If they're in your phone, odds are you've met them or you've gotten their contact information. You can literally go in there and search them on Facebook and send an invite. If you're going to do that, also, don't be a true stalker, but I love LinkedIn. Make sure you connect with new people. When you connect with them, also connect with them LinkedIn, because it's a professional page. And the average person on income on a person that has a LinkedIn account is much higher than a Facebook account or social or Instagram account, FYI, right? Post about your neighborhood or post about popular neighborhoods in your area. Use images, not just images, but reels are big. Stories are big, okay? Congratulate new homeowners. If you're going to do new homeowner congratulations, you want to make sure that they have given you okay to use their name and their picture, and it's okay to tag them. Because I have an agent in the office that tagged the buyer, and the buyer got very pissed off because she never told her family she was buying a house. Right? So you want to make sure you get the okay for that. You can do that. Post about your listings, but this is the key. Whatever you do, you have to engage. Engagement is key. So you want to highlight your business. Think about hyperlocal information, utilize the tech development, post client testimonials. That's how you highlight it. Like, and if you have agents in your office that you work with, you can also have agents to, if you hosted an open house for an agent, you can have the agent do a testimonial. Hey, Simone hosted my open house. She's an agent that shows up, and the information she gave to the buyers and my sellers was super happy with all the feedback she gave. Highly recommend Simone as a real estate agent. You know, it doesn't have to be always clients. Don't post and ghost. That's the worst thing you can do. If you post and you just ghost and you don't do anything else, it drops your engagement, and it makes people not showing up on people's places, okay? Make sure you're adding value. You want to, if you're in online communities, Facebook groups and all that, don't always ask. You want to add value. Hey guys, I just found this place that blah, blah, blah. This is a great HVAC contractor that I use. It's one of my vendors. If you have any issues with your HVAC, this is my guy, right? So you want to make sure you're consistently adding value. So I think the biggest part about social media, and I think, Teresa, when you're asking, like, what do I put on there? Like, how to just be you, be authentic. Like, don't do 50,000 filters and people know you don't look like that, right? I mean, of course, we do a little bit because we want to at least look kind of halfway decent. And just make sure that you're being authentic to who you are, right? Like, now, if you curse all the time, you don't want to do that necessarily on social media, right? Like, you know, there's difference, but you want to be who you are. Like, I'm happy, I'm like, I talk 100 miles a minute. That's me. Like, that's what you see on social media. So that when they know you're authentic, they feel like that's great. Don't be jack of all trades. I know that a lot of real estate agents also do credit repair, You be very careful on promoting 15,000 things, because people are, remember, they might not want to look at you as a real estate agent if you do 15 other things. Embrace video and reels, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If I make a mistake on a live video, I just laugh. I'm like, oh, you see, I'm a human. Oh, well. I speak Swedish and Finnish. English is my third language. Sorry, I don't know this word, but I tried, right? And I just laugh. Use your analytics to optimize your posts. When you do post on your business page, you can actually look at some of the analytics behind it, and then ask for help for somebody that actually knows social media. So the recap is 10, 5, 1, 10 hearts, likes, 5 comments, and 1 DM. Make sure it's 80-20% balance. And if you want to go above and beyond, it's a 10% more. Make sure that you don't post and ghost. That's the biggest part. I'm running a little low on time, so we're just going to keep going. I need you guys to do another KW eval because we are doing session 8 next. So when you get a moment, just go in there and do that. But I'm going to keep going because I want to honor time. And these 2 hours are going by so fast because I'm having a blast. I'm going to get your question in a little bit. I'm just going to keep going, okay? Drop your question in the chat box because as soon as I hit the 2 hours, I'll keep going. And it's Ignite Session 8, capture leads via social media. Roma, go ahead and put that in there so they know which one it is. And if you're having problems with the eval, just drop a note to Roma so she can help you. So we talked a little about success systems. Now I wanted to try to have us do some lead generation, but because I'm running a little short on time, I want you to do me a favor. Today, before you stop working, I know it's 8 o'clock. I want you to send a couple of DMs to people that are active on Facebook, right? You see it. Send at least 5 DMs just saying, hey, checking in on you. This is my script I use when I'm doing check-ins. You crossed, Happy New Year, because it's January, right? You crossed my mind, and I just saw that you were online. I was over here at Facebook World. How are you? And I use you cross my mind all the time. Do you know people love it when you cross they cross your mind and you tell them? I mean, they cross my mind. I'm sending them a message. It doesn't mean, hey, I just want to check in on you. How are you? How is everything? Oh, I'm good or I'm not good. And then you start a conversation. You shift it over to the Ford model and you wait for them to ask you what's going on in real estate, right? And now you can start having real estate conversation. If they don't bring it to real estate, that's your check-in, don't push it. But I want you to at least five DMs to people. If you're going to send a text message, I feel like this is too late to send text, but DMs it's not, because if they're up, they're up. That's why DMs are great. And I'm a copy and paster in DM. So if sometimes we want to send a bunch of messages, like 10, 15, I'll just do the one, I just copy paste and send it to 10 people. We talked about your success systems, the warnings. I engage in every conversation in the spirit of contribution. People are happy to be in relationship with me. This is what we want to say when we start doing it, doing our lead gen. Let me go through. I just want to make sure I get through it. Perfect. Okay, so I got through the curriculum. Ooh! All right, now we're going to go to more questions because we have about 5 minutes. Maria, you have a question.
I do. So as we were chatting about lead generation, I just have a question about how you can differentiate between spam messages and people who are genuinely interested. I've got a couple of text messages just saying like, hi, hello, like stuff like that. And I want to make sure I'm not accidentally not responding to a potential.
I get it.
Yeah.
That is a challenge right now because we're getting quite a bit of that, right?
Mhm.
So my advice is this: treat them like any other potential customer. And as soon as they hit you with, can you call me or text me on WhatsApp, you know it's not real.
Right. Okay.
And then they have an American WhatsApp number. Now, I have WhatsApp and I actually have some clients that are like in Jamaica right now and they're buying here. Like, so we use WhatsApp, but I know them. If I have a person that wants to buy investment property or buy a property in Atlanta and they want me to start communicating via WhatsApp and they're not a referral or whatever, it's spam. And I literally will say, hey, you know, I just don't operate that way. It's obvious you're in the United States. I would like to have a buyer consultation. I would rather call you on regular phone, blah, 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 blah. And if they don't, no, it has to be WhatsApp. Well, I'm not the agent for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Because you want to be careful because there's not just spam. They're trying to get your information. And so, you know, they'll send you a link and then next thing you know, your whole thing is corrupt, right?
Yeah.
Your computer. Dwynetta? Did I say it right?
Hi, it's Dwanyetta. Yes, you did good. You did perfectly
Good,
fine.
good. Not too bad.
No, not at all. So my question was, I've had my license. I've been dabbling in real estate for a while, but I've only had my license about 3 years. And I get mixed information about the referring companies thing and referring lenders. One end, I hear it's okay. Another end, I'm hearing really not supposed to do that. So I was just kind of wanting some clarification on that. And then the other question was with the DMs, were you wanting us to send it from our personal or our business?
Depends. If they know that you have a business, you can send it from, we send it from our personal. People know me as Natalie. If I start sending it from my business page, they're going to be like, wait, what? Right? So I'm sending them personal because I want to have a relationship with you. I want to check in on you. Right?
Right.
As
And
far
then
as
I
like,
guess we're eventually trying to move them over to the business page for the
Yeah, well-
algorithm purposes, or because I'm like you, I get way more interaction on my personal. And
yeah, I don't see
sometimes-
myself ever moving everybody over to my real estate page. The reality of it is they don't care. Like a lot of people on my Facebook don't care about my real estate business. The ones that do, they refer me business. They see me, they remember I'm in real estate, right? And I don't have a team. Like if I had a team now, a big team, I would have whatever, because everybody's sending business there or people to
Right.
follow, right? But it's just me. I'm the face of my business. It doesn't make sense. Now, what state are you in?
Illinois.
Okay, so I don't know what your state laws are. I will say this. Stop share. Okay. If I'm going to go hire somebody to help me with a service and I need another piece of vendor for that service to happen. In other words, they're hiring you for real estate, but they need a pre-approval to buy. I feel like that person they're going to hire is going to do me a disservice if they don't provide the top vendors for me to contact.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I don't believe in real estate agents, and I'm going to put it out there, and if one of you are doing it, sorry, I'm just going to say it like it is, that only refer one lender all the time, their little buddy, right? Because the buddy looks out for them, they look up. I don't think that's fair. That's when you get in trouble. You're supposed to have at least 3 different like opportunities, right? Because now you're not just pushing them into one. And also, I ask my clients, what is your situation? Do you need down payment assistance? Are we looking to close quickly? Are you like if it's conventional or FHA, everybody does that. Are you self-employed? Do you need a bank statement loan? Are you looking for a hard money loan? Are we looking for a 203K renovation loan? I have lenders that are referred based on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have one lender that does amazing job on VA, but I don't think they do a good job on FHA. I mean, on conventional, the rates are too high. Right. And I have another lender that's got great down payment assistance. And I have another lender that their fees are higher, but they can close in 7 days. So when we like multiple offer situation and we can close in like a cash deal on a regular loan, yeah, you're calling them so that we can actually go on a contract. So I always ask what the situation is, and then I send them at least 2, if not 3.
Okay. That's what I've been doing is I've been sticking with the 3, and I'll even kind of do like a little group messages. And I even let my lenders know that I am.
Yeah, well, my lenders are like, you're not sending me business. I was like, why you not sending me leads? That shuts it up real quick. Because they don't really send us leads because we're the ones that send them leads. They don't get a lot of leads. That's just not how it works. And I also expect them to do things for me. Right? In other words, if I'm hosting an event, they need to give me money for the event. If there's an issue with a client and they just lost $500, we need to figure that out, right? If the fees were off and they miscalculated something, they're better go over there and take a reduction to take care of my client. So, they have to do some things for my client.
Thank you for that.
Yes. In reference to Maria's question, I actually work in the communications field professionally as as my 9 to 5. A good rule of thumb is if you just get one of those text messages to say hi or hello or one of those things, everyone seems to be getting those a lot these days. A good thing that I would recommend is like you can respond like good evening, afternoon, whatever the time of frame is, and say, how may I help you? Or what can I do for you? Something along those lines. And if they start saying, hi, is this Jerry or something along those lines, it's one of 2 things. Either they legit have the wrong phone number or it is spam. And then if they say something along the lines of, hey, do you want to click or, I want to make a new friend, something along those lines, I recommend immediately blocking and reporting the number as spam. That way you can at least prevent them from trying to contact you again. But I will say that you're probably going to get another 20 or 30 text messages from just a batch of numbers. That's just, for whatever reason, everyone seems to be getting these text messages a lot lately. It goes through cycles like that. I'm not sure what the laws are in other areas, like in Canada or whatever, but at least here in the United States, we like my Android right now, I can report a phone number as spam and I'll block it, and it won't bother me anymore. So
Mm, that's some good stuff. Look, that was a nugget. I got aha. I appreciate that, Chris. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing.
no
Thank you. All right, any other questions? I am not in a rush at all. It is snow outside. It's not like I can go nowhere. I'm in Atlanta. We don't do snow, so haha. So I'm stuck now. So this is so if you're in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. So if I know that we only covered social media and open house. If you have any other questions right now that's off other topics, I am more than happy to give that. I know somebody asked like, how can I find buyers, whatever, if you have some script things. This is what I would say. Ramel talked about being authentic. Like if you are new and you went and you're going into real estate, like don't hide the fact that you're new. Figure out what you've done so far that's going to make you a good real estate agent and lean in on that. Like I was a teacher and educator for 10 years, and I literally leaned in on that when I became a real estate agent. And I said, I realized when I purchased a house that my realtor did not explain the process, right? And so now I'm able to take my educational background and walk my clients through to help them find ways to build wealth and be able to leave something behind for their families. And that was my thing. Somebody just said, where would I? Somebody asked, you guys have been asking. I'm only doing these 2 Ignite sessions, but I'm probably going to do more. And I'm going to ask them if there's some more that's open. I do, if you send Roma an email, I am teaching a leverage class. Coming up, it's actually one that I wrote, and that one is not free. But every so often, I'm going to be doing some different classes on Zoom. I'm doing a class actually tomorrow night. If you're interested, Roma, go ahead and put the link for that. Many of you will have clients that are going to be talking about wanting to buy overseas, or wanting to find ways to retire overseas, or wanting to work remotely and be in 2 different places like me. I'm hosting a webinar tomorrow, 6 to 8 Eastern time, and talking about like what somebody should think about, to do that. What are some of the ways, which countries you can go into to be able to get a residency or citizenship. So if you're interested in coming in, even if you take that, because that could be another touch. Like you literally could be like, I'm taking this class to help my clients figure out how to invest overseas. Everybody loves that buzzword, right? Overseas. Like I want to have a condo in Dominican, or I want to have a house in, wherever. So I'll have that. And then also she just dropped it in Essential Guide to Moving Overseas. I have a girl, Valerie, that's going to be on. She works for a company that helps people who can pay her company to do all the paperwork for them. It's not cheap, but a lot of affluent clients of yours are going to want to hire a company to handle all that stuff, right? So that's a great opportunity for you. And if you also know somebody that is a client that's been talking about it, send them a link and be like, hey, I want to be a resource for you. I know this is not about buying in my city, but here's a link. Okay, we'll be doing that seminar probably every other day. And I will not be going to family reunion because I'm sorry, it's in Vegas, and I just don't do Vegas because I don't gamble and I don't like how busy it is. It messes with my spirit a little bit, but I will be on the next one, wherever that is, because we've been in Vegas for 2 years now. I probably will be at Mega Camp because I didn't go last year, so I'll be there. Roma, go ahead and drop my contact information here for people as well. And then if you're interested in any other classes, me and Roma are working on next quarter classes. I do come and teach in other cities as well. So if you want me to come in and teach in your market center and you're in a bigger city, I only go into bigger cities just because I normally bounce around when I do it. It's easier to get in and out. I did just teach in New York, Manhattan office, and I'm going to DC and Boston coming up in the next couple of months. So if you want to have me come in and teach, I love to teach. I prefer to do it in person. It's more fun, but Zoom has been great because you guys have been great. So good. Any class in selling commercial property. You need to go on, if you're with KW, you need to go on KW Commercial and ask them. They have their own curriculums because that's a little bit different. And if you're a new agent, we can do commercial, but we don't do commercial. Like know your lane. You will not do your clients right if you try to do commercial and you're not trained for commercial, just so you know. It's better to just hand that off and get a 25% referral and let them help them do really, really good. Oh, cool. Patricia, yes. So just make sure that you connect with Roma and definitely follow me on social media, my personal page, because that's where I'm posting when I go to different places to teach as well. And that's on my personal page.
I have a question.
Yes.
So Natalie, you said you travel a lot, and I quickly took a look at your Instagram page. You do travel a lot, which is lovely. How do you manage your business? How do you say, hey, I'm going to help you find a house, spring is coming, and then you're traveling? Like, I love traveling, but I don't know how to balance it out.
Okay, so I am heavily leveraged. I work 10 hours a week. Roma does 40 hours for me a week. Roma handles all the stuff that I don't want to handle. The only thing I do is literally, I deal with my clients and that's it. I have showing assistants here. I don't, even when I'm in town, I don't really show houses because Atlanta's traffic is like absolutely a nightmare and a beast. And if I go to a place like Buford outside of Atlanta, it might take me an hour and 20 minutes on a good day to get there to open one door to come back. My value, and I tell my clients all the time, my team, my value of you hiring me is not me opening doors. That's what my showing assistants for. And I've trained them. They look for all the same things I look for. We go under contract to go see the house, right? And so they will always have it. And when I'm in Barcelona and when I travel, I stay on American time zone. So I don't go to sleep in Barcelona until 3 a.m., which is 9 p.m. here. So half of the time, my clients don't even really know that I'm not there. Like when I get calls, I do all of my buyer consultation via Zoom. I do my listing pre-consultations via Zoom. And then when I show up to the house, it's because we're getting ready to list your house. Like I don't even, for me, I don't go to listing appointments until I know that we're agreeing a little bit on the house. In other words, if you want $1 million and your house is worth $500,000, why would I drive over there to do a listing appointment? So I always do a quick call, talk about how we work, who my team is, ask them why they're moving, send me some information, how much you looking to have. And if I think that we're lined up, then I set up a listing appointment and show up to their house.
Okay, thanks.
I will also add this. I know this is not tech, like you're going to do tech on Thursday, but I love texting and social media and open houses. And there's an app that I love because some of you are using command to send text messages, but it doesn't have your phone number, right? It shows like it's something else and it feels very spammy. So Hit 'em Up is an app that I use. And I've loaded up all my past clients and Hit 'em Up. And I can create one little message on here. And then I have it set up where it says, hey, Kami, this is Natalie. I just wanted to tell you, I was thinking about you. Happy New Year. Let's connect soon. Let me know when you're free to talk. Or I have them in cigar group. I have a group that is linked for cigars. I smoke cigars. It's my bad habit. Sorry, guys. I probably should stop. Somebody was over there like, me too. Okay. You see my humidor over there? But I literally, if I have a good new stick, I will go take a picture of the cigar and I will pull the group for my cigar people and send a text like, hey, just thought about you. I smoked a new stick by AJ. This is the one if you want to try it, right? And I send it. If you got foodies, if you got pet owners, if you're in cycling, whatever you are, if this takes a while to set the group up on your phone, but when I now go through it, it says, hey, Roma, and da-da-da. And then if I want to, before I send it out, I will click on that. And if I want to add extra things like, I saw your cute dog on Facebook, they know it's not a spam because it was something specific to them. So it doesn't just say, hey, so-and-so. I put something specific about them too. Like if I know their daughter's name is Sarah, I'll be like, hey, is Sarah graduating this year? So they know it wasn't a spam sent to everybody. It feels like I sent them a text from my number directly to them. So it's one of my favorite apps. I would give you.
So what's the advantage over regular texting?
In regular texting, you have to pull up their phone number, go to them, copy and paste the text in. When you go in there, you just
hit them.
And it just goes boop, 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 boop. And you just go make change, send. Change, send. Like not change, but if you wouldn't want to do change, it just says hi name and whatever, you can do that too. But I like to put something personal so that it seems like I sent it directly to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So yeah, that's one of the big apps that we use. And we use Canva a lot for all of our social media stuff. We are Canva people. The app was Hit 'em Up. I think it's spelled like this, Hit 'em Up. And we use Canva. And if you're like worried about like setting up, like making sure it looks good or format, there's all these different companies over there where you can pay $29 or $39 and get all the templates, buyer brochures, listing agreement brochures, and you load it all into Canva. And then you have all your templates. So that's what we did. Roma, we paid one and got how many templates? Because we're changing our formatting a little bit.
Thousands.
So now we almost got too much. Now it's like, oh, we got to figure out which ones we're going to use. But yeah. Awesome. Well, are there any other questions?
Hey, I do have a question. Hi, thank you for the session. This was great.
Oh, you're welcome.
And actually very timely because I just almost made my private personal Instagram page public to change it into my business page. So I was gonna essentially delete my business, make my personal Instagram my business and personal, and just put everything in there to make it easier and to make it more personable. Now, I kind of got confused with your Instagram pages. Did you say that you add pretty much everybody to your personal, even though you also have a business, and you kind of try to keep everybody on the personal and just have the business just so they can see?
So I'm a little bit different of a situation. I'm scaling back from my real estate business and I'm building a different business. Hence why I'm not pushing people into my real estate page. All of my real estate ad stuff has my business pages. But I'm now looking to build content on my personal page because I'm also a business coach, a MAPS business coach, and because I do training and teaching. And I'm in like a 3-year plan of leaving real estate sales and I don't want to build a team. So for me, it's that way. Now, I would say never ever delete your personal and make it into your business. What if in 2 years you decide you want to build a team because you have killed it? You're a rookie of the year and you're building a team. Now what? You have no personal page. So this is kind of, you want to set things up correctly in the beginning. That way, like if things change, evolve, and you want to build a team, or 3 years from now, Octavia, you go, I don't want to do this real estate thing. It's too hard. Now what? You want to bring it back to your regular page, but you have all the real estate content, right? So so that's why I think the thumb rule is like everybody's there to talk to see you. Like that's who they connect with. So when I ask people to join me, I normally ask them to join my personal page. Now, if they're in real estate world, maybe I ask them to go on my real estate page. If they're business owners, I ask them to join my personal page and my coaching page. If they're in traveling, because I have a travel page I'm getting ready to start doing on Instagram, because I don't want to put all of my travels on my personal page, because then again, it would just be travel. So I have a travel page too. So I have to now follow the 80-20. 80 is my personal, but there'll be some travel. There'll be some probably recipes. I just made a lamb stew that's really good. I should have probably posted that and made a post about it. Right. So there's like, just, be you and be authentic, but make sure you set up a business page, because if you run ads online with Facebook and Instagram, you can't really do it correctly without that. That's why it's important to set it up. I highly recommend taking some classes or looking online and like listen to YouTube and like somebody that understands how that all works to make sure you're setting things up correctly. Because even your private page, like, or your personal page, like my personal page, Instagram, is public. Like anybody can see anything. And I don't care because I'm an open book, but some people are not going to want to do that. If you're going to make it private, just keep in mind that some people might want to vet you. And so make sure you look and allow people to come in. I just keep it public because I want you to call me. I want you to tell me you want to buy a house, right? And so I leave it open because of it.
Gotcha.
But if you have like small kids and you have like your kids are online, you got pictures of your kids and stuff, maybe you don't want it to be public, right? So, then you can keep it private, but just keep in mind that your business page needs to be public.
And so if you keep the personal private, then just make sure to do 80% of what you put in the business one personal.
You could if you wanted to, but then you can control what you want them to see. Yep, you can do it that way. It's because I have my sister, my niece. My sister is an artist. She don't want pictures of her niece, right? Like only we see pictures on her personal social media page, but her singing page has a bunch of stuff, but her daughter is not on there. Or if it is, she's got a heart over her face or something, right? So she's doing the same thing. So her personal page is private, but then her career page, so to speak, or business page is public. But then she controls what she puts there. So you just have to figure out what works for you, right?
Gotcha. It felt wrong to just put my personal page as a business page, and you came at the right time. I almost switched.
But people are going to drop off because they'll be like, I want to know you as a person. I don't want to look at your business stuff, right? What is this, right? So remember, people connected with you as a person, they want to still see you as a person, not as a business.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions?
I just want to say thank you and bye. Oh, sorry.
Thank
Y'all
you,
be
guys.
good.
Appreciate it.
I have a really quick question. If you're not on the team, you're with Keller Williams, but you're still wanting to make sure you like identify yourself, how do you, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. How do you brand other than your colors? Because I know you can kind of switch up colors or what have you, and you can do a tagline, but what about?
You got the right person. When I was a high school teacher, I taught marketing. So here we go. You ready?
Oh, good. Because like even with like logo, can you create something that's your own logo? Like how do you identify? Because we're technically our own business and our own entity, but we're still under the umbrella of Keller Williams. So I just want to do it right.
So I brand my business as Water Hill Real Estate Group. If you look at Roma's background to the right, that's my logo. Okay. If you look at my admin over here, that's my logo on the right side. Everything we do that's not tied, because this is Georgia law. You have to find out what your law is. If we're not promoting a property, we only use Water Hill Real Estate Group. If we're promoting a property, then we have to put KW Buckhead on there and Water Hill Real Estate Group.
So
right?
you can have your own and you would just use them both. Okay.
This is the wording you use. Water Hill Real Estate Group powered by KW Buckhead. That's my broker. Powered by KW Buckhead. The reason you want to have your own logo and stuff, if you decide to build a team, and let me just give a piece of advice. If you decide to brand yourself, really think through what you're going to call yourself. Check the domains are available, all that stuff. I messed up by using Water Hill Real Estate Group, but it was the thing that I wanted to do for my family. Everybody that's named Water Hill is related to me. And for my grandma and granddad and my mom and my family seeing like us, because they're all in Finland and Sweden, but to see their name in a business in the United States, it was like, great. Well, when I decided to I was going to build a team, if I wanted to merge with another agent to build a team, that wouldn't have worked. So some of my friends have like team names that have nothing to do with their last name, and it made sense. So then when they branded it out and they got another agent, they merged their teams, they were able to keep the branding and not make it be their own. So you really have to think it through how you want to do it. But then also double check the domain is available. Make sure that the name is not being used somewhere else so you don't get a stop and seize. And then decide on what your, not just colors, but if you go to Canva, there's a free version of it too. You want to also figure out what your font is going to be. So like we're doing our rebranding right now, me and Roma, and like my coaching business has different font, different colors. My real estate business has different font, different colors. We want it to all look the same. So that's been our challenge because I feel like my personal page now does not. It's all over the place. So we're working on making sure that's clean so that it has a good flow. And then I would highly recommend you figure out your MVP, your mission values and your principles for your business. And you can go to ChatGPT, kind of figure it out. And if you want a slogan, add a slogan, right? And then you just start using it. But think it through like what you want it to be.
Okay. Thank you. I've been wanting to ask that for a minute, so thank you so much.
Come anytime. This is great. And you guys have my contact information, so if you have a quick question, you can always shoot me a text. I'm great at voice messages, right? Roma, did you put my phone number in here?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll give them all my contact. You know me, I'm an open book. The 404 number, the business number. If you have a quick question and you want to just run something by me, feel free to send me a voice message like, hey, what is some of da-da-da-da? Or do you have a script for that? Like I don't mind, you know. Now I might not be able to get on the phone for 10, 15-minute call. Just depends on because I only work 10, 15 hours a week. And then I do whatever else I want to do, read a book or whatever. But or travel. And I don't remember who asked me about the travel. Listen, it's all about the scripts. So even if you're a single agent, use the words my team all the time. My team, my photographer is on my team. My admin is on my team. My transaction coordinator, if we need to use her because Roma is too busy, is on my team. My showing assistant is on my team. My team leader is on my team. My broker in charge in my office is on my team. My lenders are on my team. My favorite attorney's office is on my team. All three of them, right? I have not done just one. Like my inspectors are on my team. You have a team. That way, if you ever have to hand off something to somebody else because you're going on vacation, they're not confused. Yeah, oh, somebody said I use group instead of team. Love it. I just use team because I used to coach basketball. I was a head basketball coach, so like group doesn't sit in my head, team does. So yes, you can use group as well. Tracy asked, what's the best way to find an admin? I would say that the first, Roma, go ahead and put my leverage class in here because I cover all of that in a leverage class. And if somebody asks recording of it, yes, we will have a recording of the class that I'm doing tomorrow. So wait until Thursday or Friday and shoot Roma an email and she'll send you a link to the recording tomorrow because I forgot you guys have Ignite class tomorrow. So yeah, and she'll be more than happy to send it to you. Go ahead and drop Roma the leverage class that we have coming up February something. I do cover, if you already are in business and you're already kind of feeling like there's not enough time and you're feeling like it's time to hire an admin, then I would recommend taking that class, right? If you don't have enough business right now, you need to be lead generating, keeping all your money in your pocket. The only thing you need to look at this point is getting a transaction coordinator. You don't pay them until you have a closing, right? They do all the work up until that, because once you learn what you need to do to get to closing on transaction coordinating, then you want to hand that off and take that time that you get back, which is about 17 hours per transaction is what they say. You want to take that to be able to go lead generate and get more business. If not, if you have 2-3 deals, you get busy, the deals close, and now you have no new business because you've been busy trying to manage them into closing. Okay? So I think that was another question that was in there. All right, group. Is it okay to have one page for both while still utilizing 80-20 rule? Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. I would say that if you decide on running ads, you're going to need a business page, right? So that's where the challenge becomes. And the business pages, it's crazy. I just took a class, and if you start running ads, it was an algorithm of like $1 a day on an ad will get you more return than like $50 over 5 days. Because the algorithm starts pushing up as you do that. All right. Ken, what's the best way to train your transaction coordinator? He's my husband. Good luck. I've hired and fired my kids so many times. I would recommend, actually, Ken, I would recommend you hire a transaction coordinator that's already doing this at a high level. Pay them a few times and have them CC you or your husband on everything so they can see what they're doing. I did that when I had a transaction coordinator that I wanted to go train my admin to do a little bit. I paid them a little bit more and they were able to show all the steps of what they do because they knew I was going to still use them, but they knew that the first 4 transactions a month would be done with my admin, right? And so I just paid them extra to show them. So I think that would be the best way to do it. Or you can look online and see if there's some transaction coordinating classes to do it. But really, it's about learning to do it. Sorry about that. Somebody called me on FaceTime. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are learning so much.
Hi, I still need to have your contact information.
Hold on. Did you not drop it in there? Hold on. Roma, you doing it right now?
It's in the chat already.
Oh, it's in the chat? Okay.
Hi, Natalie. This is Amy from New York.
Hey, Amy.
I couldn't talk before because my dogs are making noise.
Oh, no worries.
I love what you've said about using the clipboard for open house. I do that too. And
The small ones?
big one. I'm like a total nerd with my little clipboard following them.
I
But,
actually like them really small ones, guys. They're about this, like a size of your face. They're black, really cute. Bought them on Amazon, and they have been great.
the other thing is like I love taking notes on the little sign-in sheet, but the other thing is I also repeat their email because sometimes I can't read their email until I get home, and I'm like, darn it, what was that?
And you know what you could do too is have an email template set up on your email, and if it's not super busy, you be like, hey, do you mind if I send you a link with a lot more information? What's your email? And then you do it right away and send them an email, you got it. And if it bounces back, like I've done that. That's why I try to set up the buyer consultations right away. So when I send them a calendar invite for it, if it bounces back, I know that I have the wrong email.
And then the other thing I wanted to tell you, I put in the comments, somebody asked like, what do I post, right? The easiest thing, there's check I day. Like today, actually, like it gives you the national day or the international day, and today happens to be Own Your Home Day.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. I have to check that out.
And I started teaching a social media class in my market center, just like very simple, like how-to stuff for like new agents.
Oh, nice.
And one of the things that I try to teach is to make things easier. You know, in life, we're also busy. Like I'll go on the calendar for the entire month and I'll schedule the post on Meta Planner. So it'll go from Facebook to Instagram because the accounts are linked, like you said. And then I have like scheduled posts for the entire month. That's like the holidays, like, you know, for example, January, we just had Martin Luther King Jr. Day yesterday. Today's National Hug Day.
Be very mindful of that and watch your engagement. What we learned and noticed is when I used to do that via Hootsuite and all the other stuff, I wouldn't get as much engagement. I've noticed that we get a lot more things happening when Roma actually individually goes to each of them every day and posts them.
Right.
Because when it does the feed from one feed to another, it does something, make it look like it's been automated. And,
oh, really?
and Facebook doesn't always like that, or is it Instagram, one of those. So watch 1 week, watch what that looks like, and then next week, go in there and just do it yourself. You already have it ready, you know what it is, go and do it yourself and see if there's a difference.
Okay, thank you.
I will also say, that's great information. Thank you for dropping it, check I day. Roma, make sure you copy that because we might need to pull some stuff from that, okay? The other thing too is we use ChatGPT. You literally can go to ChatGPT and you can train ChatGPT about your business by answering like 100 questions from that ChatGPT needs to know about your business and your brand. Then you can go and say, I need a 30-day marketing calendar that posts real estate 4 times a week. And the other 3 times is personal or fun posts. And I want you to set it up as a spreadsheet. That's what we do. And then we have a ton of content, and then we add extra lines because Roma has to put the Canva that we're going to use. Then it has to tell, am I going to do a reel on it? Is she doing a post on it? Blah, blah, blah. And then that's how we put our marketing calendar together. So we go to
Natalie, how do you teach ChatGPT to know me and my style and who I am?
So there's I can't remember. I think if you go to ChatGPT and to train my ChatGPT, what questions should you know about my business? Ask me questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And then it should ask you a bunch of questions. I think I might even have this here. I'm gonna look. Roma, remind me tomorrow. Actually, no, Thursday, because tomorrow is a packed day. Thursday, remind me to look for the ChatGPT 100 question prompt. And if we have that, let's make sure that we can send it out. So you can email me on email Roma on Monday, and if I have that, just ask the 100 question chat GPT prompt. If I can find it in my laptop, it's somewhere in there, buried in all the files. Roma, you can probably even look for it. I'm searching that G Suite. It's somewhere in the files. I'll send that to you, because then you just fill it out and you copy and paste it in.
You must believe in abundance. You're awesome.
I do believe in abundance. Yes, I continue to be blessed because I was taught that when you give to others, you keep getting blessings back. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it and getting some value off of it. Awesome. I think this might be it. I don't see any more questions on here. Are we good?
Great. Have a good evening.
Awesome. All right, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, it's going to be up to you to take and apply all the things that you've learned. You got to do the work. If you do the work and you stay with it, you practice your scripts, real estate is an amazing career. And I hope to see you guys in a class soon in the future. Bye, guys.